the Super Bowl before you know it's going to be here. And what I thought was this story would be interesting considering the fact that a lot of you are probably seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. And producer Bethany, who helps run the show, she does cat videos and things like that. You can check out her YouTube channel and DJH Studios. And that is also progressing over time. So these things are getting so unbelievably realistic that you can't tell whether or not they're real or they're AI. And SOAR, I believe, is one of them. And you know, a lot of this, ChatGPT even is doing it. But there's a lot of these programs now that are creating these cat videos and human videos that look, I mean, you literally cannot tell if they're real or not. The only problem is that they can only go for a certain period of time. So you can only do, you know, maybe 3 minutes, not even 3 minutes, but it's more like seconds, and you have to kind of put them all together. But this company called Svedka Vodka is going to be using artificial intelligence to feature its old Fembot mascot in the brand's first Super Bowl commercial. And what I thought was really interesting about this is that, you know, when you create these characters, it's not easy to do. And they're going to get into this in this article and tell you how difficult it really is to put this stuff together. Now, once again, the AI is transforming and getting better every single day. So it's not going to become as difficult. And you can see in such a short period of time how much better this AI technology and these products have gotten to where, again, it's really in a lot of cases difficult to tell whether or not this stuff is real or not. But it's a privately owned spirits company, Sazerac, and they acquired this Svedka vodka from Constellation Brands earlier this year. They decided to feature its new property in the Super Bowl as part of a new push for the brand. Alcohol advertising has become more competitive at the Super Bowl in recent years after Anheuser-Busch gave up its long-running exclusive rights to the category in the game. Now, I think it's more that people are not drinking alcohol as much. In fact, I think alcohol consumption is down to a record level in 2025. So I think that has something to do with it. But this is interesting. I think it's a huge chance these guys are taking, but we'll see. I can't wait now to see the video or the commercial. Quote, when we acquired Svedka, it had been declining for quite some time, said Sarah Saunders, a chief marketing officer at Sazerac, whose portfolio also includes Buffalo Trace. I've heard of these guys before. Southern Comfort. I've heard of that. And I think a lot of people have heard of Fireball. Constellation really hadn't invested behind the brand. Svedka has now returned to growth, she said. Sazerac this fall brought back Svedka's Fembot, a shapely robot that had been retired more than 10 years ago. The brand's Super Bowl debut is meant to introduce Svedka to new consumers and rebuild its brand equity with others, according to Saunders. This is really interesting. I thought this part of the story, too, is you're bringing back a robot from 10 years ago that who knows how they animated it then, because, you know, none of this stuff, this AI was around then. And now they're using AI to bring back the robot that is going to be in the commercial. Sazerac worked with AI firm Silverside, which also helped Coke make one of its holiday spots this year to create the Super Bowl commercial. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. It took about 4 months to rebuild the Fembot and train the AI on the facial expressions and body movements that made sense, Saunders said. So this is important because, like I was saying before, now SOAR and some of these other AI softwares or whatever are making it a lot easier to type things in and make stuff. But not even a few months prior, it was extremely difficult to make them do what you wanted to do. It would just kind of go on its own. So if you wanted to do like a cat video and have it break a plate or something like that, it would like blend into the plate, or it just wouldn't do what you asked it to do, and you would have to regenerate it over and over again. I'm guessing this is kind of what they had to deal with. Probably not as much where it wasn't outright working, but it wasn't quite doing the things that it wanted to do with, like it said, with the facial expressions and body movements. Now, this is where the reactions are interesting from people. The use of AI in advertising has at times triggered fury or disdain from some ad industry employees and consumers, but that hasn't stopped marketers from investing in AI and trying to figure out where it can factor into their creative work. So this is, again, it's inevitable that AI is going to take over. It's inevitable that people are going to lose their jobs as a result of this stuff. I mean, you're already seeing it here. This is the very beginning of and this is going to happen in Hollywood and movies and everything else. And people are going to be fighting back against this, and they're not going to be happy with it for various reasons. But I think the main reasons are going to be is because they see that there's a possibility they may lose their job. And as the AI technology improves, as the software improves, which is happening so rapidly, that this stuff is just going to become much more easy to create and much more easy to replace actors and actresses. AI was the right tool to use thematically for an ad campaign depicting a futuristic robot. Makes sense, according to Saunders. And it did. I think it just flowed perfectly. They had a robot before. 10 years ago, they bring the robot back and they're using AI to animate it. I would say there's a misnomer that AI is a shortcut. I don't think my team has worked harder on any ad that we've created for any brand. And this is what I mean. Using AI, and we've used AI in animation, it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially because it doesn't seem to cooperate with you very much. Again, it's going to get better, but it's still extremely difficult to work with. He goes on to say it still requires hands-on direction to create the desired output using AI. Every single piece of the ad has been handheld and art directed, almost as though the AI is an animation tool. It actually has required more work, and I'm not surprised to hear that. Saunders doesn't see the human side of advertising going anywhere. We're not in a world in which we can prompt creative ideas. The ideas still have to come from the brand team. Again, makes sense. You're not going to easily have AI create these ad ideas. It's not sophisticated enough. Now, I can tell you this, that through prompts and through utilizing AI the proper way, by prompting AI, you can take not necessarily the ideas, but you can prompt it to take some of the best copywriters, the best designers from the beginning of time, and have the AI pull that information in and create ad copy or create a design or create an idea based on that, based on an idea that you've created and want to bring that in. So, and once again, this is where I think a lot of people don't understand AI, is where it's just not, you just don't put an idea and hope that it's going to come back. There's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of prompting involved. There's a lot of teaching involved. You have to train it and you have to teach it. Just like, a cat or a dog or something like that, you have to train the system in order for it to do what you want to do. And it's not always going to do what you ask it to do, because you may have to refine those prompts. You may have to add something, take something away, start all over again. There's a lot of work involved. So other Super Bowl advertisers in 2026, on a side note, because I'll be interested to see, will be the Cracker brand Ritz, beverage company Liquid Death. They've had some controversy going on, and the food delivery service Grubhub, which I certainly will never use again. But let me know what you think about AI and advertising, but moreover, AI as a whole for like Hollywood and taking over with actors. I did do a story about, I forget his name now, Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman is now, he and his lawyer are suing a lot of people because a lot of people were using AI to replicate his voice for a lot of different things. And that's been going on a long time because AI was much better at replicating voices than actual, faces and people and things like that. Long before. So people were utilizing AI, and even prior to that, they were using other systems to replicate his voice. And he is extremely upset at that. Had a lot of things to say about it, but also he thinks that Hollywood will not be taken over by AI, that there will be no actors that will replace humans in AI. And I beg to differ. I think that we're going to see a huge change. We're going to see, there's one particular fake AI actress that's taking off. That's also in that video. If you want to check that out, subscribe and check that video out about Morgan Freeman, and I get into that. But he is kicking and screaming, and and it makes sense. A lot of people, including Hollywood, are not going to be happy with the fact that AI are going to be taking their jobs. But it's not good enough now, but it will be. But let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think that AI will not take over in Hollywood? And if it does, are you cool with it, or do you think it's overall just a bad idea? Let me know in the chat in the comment section.